I want to start off this stream reacting to our guy. What's his name again? He made a video on why Opium is a horrible label. And I'm like, damn. Because I'm currently making a video on this, for like the documentary, and I'm like, Opium is probably the best label there is. How are you gonna diss them like that? Like, you can say all you want about maybe the music, like if you don't like that type of music. This guy saved the world. He hates on a lot of the newer rappers, and I guess old ones too, because of Cardi. But so subjectively, he can say the music's bad, but yo, you cannot say business-wise that Opium is a bad label. They have a new guy. They're barely like they have a promotional budget behind him, Destroy Lonely, and he's selling 35K. How can you say that? Opium is probably the best label in the game right now, beating, of course, Cactus Jack has better, or sorry, not better, bigger artists like Don Toliver, maybe not so Fago right now, but you got Don Toliver, whose mainstream has like a #1 hit, I'm pretty sure, with Lemonade. So how are you, man, there aren't many better labels than Opium. I'm not even trying to gas them, but here we go.
So Opium has been getting a lot of attention as the new cool kid on the block in the music industry. But personally, I think despite all of its hits and all of the cool fit pics that we see on Reddit, Opium as a whole is not only one of the worst labels, but one of the worst communities in general. They treat their artists like pretty little toys that just bring in money from kids. Opium is not genuinely interested in pushing Ken or Lone or Homicide Gang into the mainstream.
What are you talking? Well, okay, I could see that, but then again, Cardi isn't really necessarily making his music to be mainstream either. Like, he's going in this hard rock lane that's not mainstream music. I feel like Die Lit was the closest to mainstream that Cardi was going to get, you know? So, and now he doesn't even need to make pop music because he just has such a strong following.
Look at their marketing campaign for If Looks to Kill. It was so fucking stupid. They spray painted the—
But that's the whole point of Opium, man. I'm not even trying to dick ride here. I'm just saying their promotion is almost more organic. They know that fans are going to spread it if they leak little pictures of graffiti around New York or Japan or whatever. And that's the whole lore behind it, as opposed to digital marketing nowadays is traditionally Instagram ads, YouTube ads, and whatnot. Like, they're doing it different. So I think they're doing it well. I don't know what he's talking about.
The album name in random places across LA, and fans just ate it up. They were like, oh my god, it's so fucking cool. They sprayed something on a fucking trash can. Whoa. This was a very obvious gimmick just to make the core fans meat stiff. This is literally what a 14-year-old kid thinks marketing is. It's gimmicks like this. And also some dude like
called guerrilla marketing,
like carved the name into like the bathroom stall.
You can call it cringe all you want. That's fine. Ultimately, whenever anything gets big enough, it becomes cringe. So, but you can't deny that it's successful. 35K, bro, 29K first week, bro.
And then everybody's like, whoa, the album's gonna take over the world. Nobody was gonna see this outside of like Discord and Reddit. And I guess they ran out of spray paint because they didn't even spray it in more than like 5 spots to where people could see it and actually pique interest in the album. If we look at people like Yeet or even Fago before he was shit, they actually have decent marketing and outreach tactics. For one, Yeet drops music that isn't a strong 1 out of 10, and he drops it consistently. Every song he makes has the potential to be a hit.
But that's not marketing, man. That's just quality of music or appeal to a wider audience. Also, I don't necessarily think that Fago really did a good job marketing. I feel like he just had a good brand and like good music, and that carried it, and then the marketing fell through completely. Now, someone in the chat is asking, what did Cardi do though? Well, that's the whole thing. He's not supposed to do anything. It's just his name and association brings all of the, like, Homicide Gang. He hasn't done anything with them, and they're just going up based off solely they are signed to Opium. Now, if he were to publicly co-sign all of his artists all the time, it would lose its validity. Like, people wouldn't listen to him as much anymore. There's a lot of artists who are big, but like their co-sign just doesn't mean anything. You see what's happening with Kid Cudi? There's a reason for that, but we'll get into that later.
catchy, and it's unique. So you know TikTok is just eating it up. Now personally, I do think Yeet has some industry plant shenanigans going around. I don't know how he's getting shout outs from all these major people all of a sudden, but the point still stands. Yeet doesn't have like this crazy amazing 12-step complicated strategy. He's just making good music, and he's making a lot of it, and he's actually releasing it. Opium is way too focused on their group image and their aesthetic. Like, they get carried hard by their aesthetic. Any cool,
I think that's marketing though. That's his whole argument is flawed. I respect him, but that's marketing. I feel like Yeet and Uzi and they have good marketing, but their promotional schemes are literally just like frequency of releases. Not necessarily Uzi anymore with Pink Tape, but during like the Pluto Baby Pluto and Red and White and Eternal Take and Uzi vs. the World 2, they just drop so much music. And honestly, you should do that at the beginning, but I don't think Opium needs to do that because they're just known as like the rare kids.
Cool picture that gets released and fans just immediately forget Ken beat the shit out of his girlfriend.
But see, he's saying that the kids are beating their meat to it, meaning that the marketing is working.
Ever played sports, you know you have the people who are naturally talented, the people who completely lock in, and then you have that one guy who is just happy to be on the team. That's the Opium fan base. And you know what else is like really fucking weird that I just don't get? Opium is the only community that I know where fans will just completely fix and remake songs for the label. Dude, they literally remade Whole Lotta Red like 15 times until they got it right. The reason they're not dropping anything is because you guys are doing all the work for them. You're literally slaves. The Opium
That's marketing.
Community prides itself on being different and not like the other kids, and its artists are a reflection of that. So that whole mysterious, weird outcast image can work in the mainstream if you're like a white girl who has billions of label dollars. But when you're in a label that's under a label that's under a label, you don't have that kind of power. You don't have that leeway. You kind of just stuck servicing these kids who play Roblox all day. What happens when it's not cool to be a vamp anymore?
I mean, here's the thing. Opium is a joint label with Interscope, so they're just backed by the resources of Interscope. It's a label imprint, so I see what he's saying with like a label under like an artist, but it's just one step to the major label. So, but not even. It's like half a step because again, it's an imprint, but they're fully supported by Interscope. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
What happens when your entire fan base grows up and they just start listening to something else? And that's why Maya Buckets did something weird with her mouth on camera.
What? Why does he always have to go with her, man? Bless her soul. I feel him though, like what will happen when the fan base grows up, and that's what happened with Lil Pump and like the SoundCloud era, and why none of those artists really have fan bases anymore, just because they were making such, you know, dumbed down music. But I feel like Lone and Cardi can Lone more, but they got music where they can continue. In my opinion, it might be a little bit trendy, but that's just the plight that every single artist faces. So I don't necessarily think that that's like a Opium issue, you know what I mean? So again, I think Opium's probably the best artist run label there is right now. Cactus Jack is good, but I don't know, like Sheck West kind of, but it wasn't his, I mean, it was his fault. He literally went off the planet by himself. So Fago, I feel like he's not utilizing the Travis Scott resources as much either. He's kind of doing his own thing is what I've heard, and that's why, you know, he did the independent distributor for his last project, Pink Hearts. Did he even drop that latest song Yay that was really good on streaming platforms? Like he just did a SoundCloud exclusive, so I guess he's not hurting for cash. But I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot more he could be doing, and he's definitely talented. So but yeah, ultimately I think Opium is one of the better labels going on right now, other than maybe like the majors. But if you get this, so if you get the cosign from Cardi or Opium, you're easily gonna start making over 100K, 200K per year, like instantly. Like you just get that cosign, you get 100K followers right there. It's the easiest fan base just to start growing in. You start wearing all black Rick Owens, maybe some Opium producers, and your streams are going up organically without anybody pushing. You don't even need a marketing budget, bruh. So, and we're streaming at the new crib probably June 5th. If I can move, I got a big desk, so if I can like disassemble it and then carry it over or put it in a truck or something, it's really not a far drive. Then we can start streaming there.